Hello. There we go. Looks like we got the live stream happening. Microphone is hooked up and operating properly, I believe. And what else do we have? Well, we got the Love Lego. We got the Twitch glitch sign. And, of course, how could we stream without a Himalayan salt lamp? I don't know why I have my Meta VR glasses there. I was thinking I should do a stream where I stream with VR, but I still haven't gotten my ass to figure out how to do that. Maybe someday. Oh yeah, what's this behind me? It's my Stratocaster. I just restrung. I just put new strings on my Strat. Yesterday, I had David Gilmour strings on, which are good ass strings. But these are John Mayer strings, the silver slinky strings that John Mayer, likes on his Stratocaster. They're pretty similar because they're both 10.5s. But I like these strings a lot. Well, they're new. But I think they're a little cheaper than the David Gilmour signature strings. David Gilmour and John Mayer both being very famous for their Stratocaster work. I would not. Today is not a guitar day, but if it were, I'd be happy. I'd love to play this guitar. It's all in good. It's in very good shape. It's very well adjusted. It's playing really nicely, and it's always a kind of an honor to play a Stratocaster because of its because of its history. You know, the history is being one of the most popular guitar models, the most imitated, really ones. Perfect, you know, which is a whole legal issue currently. All right, so we got some Diet Coke here, freshly poured into a glass. I don't see how. There you go, Diet Coke. See, recycle me. That's how you know it's Diet Coke. Yeah, I gotta tell you, streaming is a relaxing thing for me. Look at that, my shirt matches the beautiful blue Bluetooth controller in a sense. In a sense it doesn't. See, I was sitting here, you wouldn't even know I had a controller or something. Over here. It doesn't matter. All right, so what are we gonna do today? I don't know, the regular. They'll be flying around a Microsoft Flight Simulator. We have not explored anywhere near all the parks. I kind of want to find Yosemite and see if they have the Ahwahnee Lodge looking good finally, because it was not looking good last time I went to the Ahwahnee Lodge. I mean, it looked like it, anyway. The point is, it's a very iconic building, and it looks fine in 2020. We might go to Yosemite, but all the national parks were updated, a whole bunch of them, a huge list of them, and so it's gonna the Microsoft Flight Simulating will be mainly the United States national parks, I would imagine, for the next couple of weeks until we get sick of it. You know what I mean. We'll alternate with maybe a few trips to the ranch, some city overflights, some major United States or world cities. It's all fun. It's all just sightseeing. I don't go from point A to point B. We just take off somewhere, see what there is to see, and land somewhere else. And that'll be for about 45 minutes to an hour. I don't know. It's usually not an hour. And then we're gonna today, for a change, we're gonna do the big brain games in the middle. After that, that's when I whip out the Octurtle, the Flirtle, the reunion, the tightrope trivia, the revealed. The loop, we're doing the loop these days. The New York Times connections and the Octurtle, whatever. In roughly that order. And then there'll be a short break where I play my mid-roll, during which I'll be frantically bringing my piano in from the garage and slapping it down. First I got to put the stand up, and then I got to put the piano down, and then I got to plug the piano in, then I got to plug the pedals in, and then I got to plug the output jacks in, and then I got to move the micro. It's a lot. And I got to move my other camera around so you can see me playing the piano. It's fun though. I got it down to about a 3-minute routine, but that's about as low as it takes to transform into Ken's Piano Lives. But on a Friday, maybe a Friday afternoon for some of you, wouldn't it be great to just relax? And I haven't played these songs in a while, so I'm going to be terrible. I'll say in advance, I'll be making some mistakes and going, wait a minute, let me try this one again. But it is what it is. You know, I've been playing these songs for many years now, so I think taking a 1-week break from playing, which I have, shouldn't be too bad. But you know, if I don't want to take more than a 1-week break, because as I said, I memorized those songs. It took a long time. I don't want to lose the ability to play them after that effort. Besides, I love this my little song list. It's kind of, you know, it's the same every time. That's Ken's Piano Lounge. I do other songs, but anyway, cheers. We'll have to get into it. Looks like the intro is almost finished. And by decree. There you go. See, that's what happens when I decree the intro to be finished. We're already in the correct category. Now all we got to do is first we're going to pick an aeroplano. Something that will always puts a smile on my face. Most of them do. The big airliners do not. I still haven't figured out how to fly the new blimp that they gave us. It's tricky. Apparently, it's tricky. You need a manual, and I don't feel like reading a freaking manual. Let's see. Something good for flying around. Not a helicopter because I find them stressful to fly over that way. No, not the. I gotta get myself into the OV-10 again sometimes. The Draco is fun because it's fast. For a little plane, we got passengers. What are our livery choices? Basically, ugly and uglier. I mean, the red is the good-looking one. That's the default one. Fine. All right. So now we got to figure out what national park we're going to visit. I mean, I guess if we want to go to Yellowstone, or it's around here. Which one? One of these is Yellowstone. Is this or Yosemite? I keep saying Yellowstone. This is Yosemite, right here, and this is it up here. If we start here, we got a bit of a flight, but it's a nice flight. El Portal. Okay, all this stuff should be on the. Yeah, so I just want to see the Iwani Lodge is right around in here, I believe, or here. It's in here. Anyway, let's just check it out. I've done it before a million times. All right, so we'll start. We're gonna cold start here at the little airport. It's it's about a 15-minute flight. We're pretty fast, but I like to start from an airport. This is the nearest one. It definitely is a sort of a GA airport. Anyway, the basic course is to northeast. I don't want to miss it. To get to the main valley and then kind of east. I think I'll find it. We'll see. Maybe we'll get lost and it'll still be fun. You know what I'm saying? It's not about achieving the mission. It's about having fun and looking at stuff. And we're already looking at stuff. Look at that. It's a really cool looking plane. I'm going to do a little walk around here. Now, the real walk around requires you to kind of take off all the stuff and undo all the things. That vibrating propeller is pretty badass. But I have it set up so that as soon as we enter the cockpit, it removes all that stuff. So we're good there. We're going to do a little startup procedure here. So engine condition to high idle. Propeller is to there. Throttle is to there. Actually, let's do propeller to full, I believe. Throttle is to there. Fuel valve is both. Good, that's already on effectively. Main battery, of course. Fuel pumps. Engine auto ignition to on. Is there a magneto? I don't know if there is. What's up here? Lighting, a lot of lighting systems. What's over here? Okay, it's an autopilot. Let's turn the starter on. And it's one of those turbos, so it takes a little while before the turbo spins up the engine there. It's not a prop. It takes a little while for it to get going, but you get that great turbo whine sound. I love it. All right, now we should be able to turn the generator on and avionics master on now. We got stable RPM. Perfect. Beautiful. Ooh, a little less power. Maybe a little less prop. We're going to go to low idle. Very good. Start up this is a touchscreen based system. Very nice. Okay, what kind of lights do we need? Nav lights. We don't need these lights. They're fine. Rear pod light. We don't need that as backup. Tail light. Whatever. I'm just checking things out. I've flown this as many times. Fingertip oximeter. I don't know. Interesting. Could come in handy if you're trying to fly at altitude in a plane that's obviously not pressurized and not designed for it. But I would guess you're mainly doing those runs where you're flaps. Okay, let's see if the radio's working. It's been a while since I've flown. A couple of days. Okay, Mariposa. Now it's taxi, takeoff. We're gonna, depart. We're going east, effectively. All right. Let's see if we can turn here.
Taking off runway 8, east departure, Kilo Mike Papa India.
me, sir. All right, good. Good. We're going to head down the runway here. Plenty of runway. Big size thing. It's going to take us a while to get there. I don't think we need the whole runway. As a matter of fact, I believe we could. Oh yeah, no, we can start from right here. We'll be fine. All right, so flaps to here. Some positive trim. We're going to set up some positive trim in a minute. This should be in propeller in the full. Engine condition, I think low idle is fine. All right, reduce the power. Slow it in. We're going to announce our takeoff. We're going to take off from here. Don't need no plan your runway from right here. I need to waste any extra time. In fact, you'll see it's a very short takeoff. Okay, we're announcing takeoff. Depart east.
Kilo Mike Papa India traffic. KNSH 9er. Taking off runway.
Turn on to the runway here.
East. Kilo Mike Papa India.
All right, and here we go. Full power. Takes a little while for the turbo to make it, but as soon as it does, just want to be sure we're basically flying. Literally seconds later. And that's what it is. What it is. I'm just saying it's a very powerful plane. We don't want to be going that full. All right, so we want to head. Let's see, northeast, right? And that's what it looks like from here. Okay, we're gonna do sub. We want to be a little more efficient here, so we're gonna go. Actually, east, mainly east. But we should be able to find. Okay, that's power. We're gonna need some negative trim with that nose. It's a beautiful day. Look at that beautiful terrain around here, and that is what California looks like. It looks like a little house up here, or maybe somebody's cabin, you know, mountain cabin, a getaway or something. Because yeah, you know, it's too far from anything. That's certainly a getaway. You fly in and be there in like 20 minutes, though. Okay, well, that's a little heavy. A light nose. Oh, we fly in a low level. I think. Okay, that direction is going to be Yosemite. I always say Yellowstone interchangeably. I think my brain's messed up. That's fine. Could be worse. You know what I'm saying? But we will get some altitude. We will need it. We're already at 3,700 feet. You can see the ground's, you know, we were pretty high up already. It's a good thing this plane has an autopilot, because I might use it for a change. There's all sorts of little, like, roads. Hello. I'm, like, losing some altitude there. What's our speed? It is a fast plane. You know, especially for a little plane like this. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to head up to those points of interest and then kind of turn east. And then where those mountains are, that's how far it is. It's like 20 miles. But we are doing 120 knots, 130 miles an hour. So that's 20 minutes or less. You know, I always like it when there is a flight. I do like flying from that little airport. I do occasionally get lost, just to be honest. So I think it's this way. At this point. Maybe I can, we can see on the flight plan where the heck we are. Oh, I think it's... No. Did I not go further north enough? Is it this thing up here? Because that kind of looks like it, right? Or, I keep forgetting. So one is Hetch Hetchy, and the other is Yosemite. That's where we took off from. It's got to be, yeah, it's got to be this one. I don't remember for sure. It's up like here. Oh, say El Cap 10. Yeah, so it is this direction, but it's a ways. I just want to see if I can establish level flight without having to. Okay, yeah, El Cap there. That thing where it says El Cap. That's El Cap 10. So it's just a ways up. It's just a little further than you think. It looks like it's about 20 miles from here. But we are making 2 miles a minute, so it's 10 minutes roughly. It'll be a nice little flight. Again, for level flight and to make it easier on the pilot, this plane has an autopilot, which I almost never use, which is why I kind of want to use it. And it's always easy. First of all, you want to figure out what your heading is. And we're heading about 41 degrees. So we're going to set our heading here to 41 degrees. There's 46 close enough. 44. 42, that's close enough. Turn autopilot on. Where is it? There it is. Hello, autopilot on. Heading select, right? And altitude hold. Now it should be turning to our... Okay, so altitude hold. Let's see if it's going to hold our 5,000 foot altitude as well. It's definitely, you can see the autopilot's going to be working really hard to keep a plane like this in a stable flight, given that it's hard to say, but it's very susceptible to turbulence. And we should be okay at this altitude, but I can always use the autopilot to raise the altitude as well. All right, so we're at 40 degrees, 41 degrees. Yeah, we're up heading, right? But yeah, you can see it's really struggling. But then we can make that turn to the right if we need to. How far are we going here? So yeah, at this, we're heading directly to El Cap, which is right around here, I believe, is where I'm looking for the Iwani, right there. So it's past El Capitan. But I don't want to be too high because I want to see stuff, but I don't want to be too low because we can smash into things. But once we're in the valley, it's lower than this altitude, for sure. I gotta see if I'm gonna cover this ridge. I think I am. Beautiful, beautiful weather today in California. I need to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's a clear day. Actually, I'm not 100% sure about that. Let's get rid of this. Okay, what does it say under here? Live weather. So in this area, it is reporting, the weather service is reporting clear skies, apparently. Does it say specifically? Not really. Show 3D thermal. Nah. Pass. I think we'll make it over this ridge. I believe. But, not by a lot. That's fine. Autopilot doesn't care. But then once we get over this ridge, I think we'll be effectively be able to fly into the valley. Beautiful. I like this plane too. I mean, it's got those huge front wheels. You could definitely use it for bush flying. I will make it. I'm optimistic. We got like dozens of feet to spare. Look at that. I got to trim some trees here. My propeller. And that should be our highest, our lowest, airport. All right. So now let's just take a look at the navigation system here. Okay. So once we're in here, we should probably hand fly up the because we're not really going to go in a direct route. All right. So we're going to go off autopilot here. Let's see. I don't need this anymore. Autopilot turns off by clicking that button. Nice. It's off. And we're going to head down here. I don't know why it says El Portal or something, El Portal, but there's kind of an entranceway. I think that's the visitor center there for Yosemite West Visitor Center, right there. And but there should be lots to see. I don't know if they have this version of what I have does not necessarily have the waterfalls, but we're quite a ways from the Iwani, right? I believe. But this is the road that you go. You can see there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of campgrounds. There's a lot of, I think there's cabins you can rent. And then there's these trails that go up, but it's a little further up. But you got to be good if you want to try to, get up to any good. You got to be in good shape, good physical condition. But all the way up here is all kind of a very narrow canyon with a river and a road and some buildings. I'm overspeeding here. What are we looking at? Good. Let's try this mountain. Okay, so we're over 5,000 feet. Now we're down to 3,000 because I'm trying to do some actual canyon carving here. And plus, I want to see. You'll be able to see there's actually kind of a town, and that's where the Iwani is. There's a bunch of stuff there. And the goal is to find the Iwani and see if it still looks like crap, like it last time we were here. And by crap, I mean there was a building there and it had the imprint, but obviously it was not what the Iwani looks like, which is a very iconic structure. And it's not what it looks like in 2020. There's the other version of Flight Sim, because there's two. This is what it looks like from in here. You can see a little reflection off the plastic windows. But it's pretty. It seems kind of reasonably realistic. I don't see any golf courses down there. What the hell? How am I going to play golf when I go to Yosemite? It's just okay, no more. Well, there we go. All right, everything seems in the green over there. I'm looking at my engines there. So we're still a ways, I think, from kind of the really famous, like iconic views. still worth playing. If we look here, I think you'll be able to see that El Capitan is quite a ways, and there's a lot of stuff further up. So I'm not expect to see anything quite yet. I think there's a waterfall around here in the real world, but I don't think you can see it in the game. You have to pay extra for that, I think, for the good waterfalls. It's pretty that way, even though they're just which is fine. We should go back to Victoria Falls, by the way, which is the falls I paid for, and it is fairly impressive. Here we are making its turn. Get the impression of flying. Okay, so there's something called Something View up here. You see that river gets pretty big. Whatever the river is. So it's Something View. It's, I guess you can hike up, not a huge ways, but it's like 600 feet or something. Tunnel view. Okay. Wow, but you could just see how majestic, even from the south. By the way, you're not allowed to fly like this in the real world. How majestic this place is. It's called Tunnel View. We have points of interest today. Not really, it's just there's nothing there. It's just a little place. So you can see how you hike up there. Actually, it looks like you drive up there. So you drive up there and it's a lookout. Okay, and then you can see all the way down there, the whole valley this way. On a clear day, like so, you can see a long ass way into it. Now you see Half Dome is peeking out over there. We'll get closer. All right, so here's where the valley gets a little bigger. But we're not where the Iwani is. I want to stay nice and low. You'll see there's quite a few buildings around there. But man, it is an amazing place, and in the game, it is an amazing place to visit in Flight Sim. It's one of those fantastic places. I mean, there's so many beautiful places in Flight Sim, like Hawaii, and it's just amazing. So you can see here, there's like campsites and stuff. I think down that way you can see the cars. So you see the road, but I think these are campsites. There's a couple of roads, actually. There's a little bridge here. But I think we're kind of coming up to the village, which I think is where the Iwani is. And it's kind of on a hillside there. It should be pretty easy to find. We're on course. And again, these the valley walls here, the mountains that encase the sides of Yosemite Valley are very impressive. We'll see Half Dome in a second. Gotta stay nice and low because it looks like we're high up. I really haven't pushed that stick down. I'm negative trim, please. It's just up on the side of the hillside. In fact, I think it's right there, and I don't think it looks good. I'll have to see. Let me get closer. Yeah, it looks the same. It looks like crap. It's an iconic A-frame style building, and it's right here, I think. I think that's where the location is. It looks different, but not better. It's an A-frame, right? The chapel is fine. Maybe it's further up there, actually. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's not it. We're going to check out the chapel. The chapel looks like it's a nice thing. Come to think of it, actually, maybe it's... Because it's on a hillside. I think it's up... Oh, it's over here. Yeah, it looks a lot better. That's the Iwani, I believe. There it is. I think that's it. That's in the right position. It's either that one or this one. But no, it looks a lot better. Right, hold on, let's jump out of the plane. I suggest we jump out of the plane. I'm not 100% sure. Oh. I think that's it. No, I'm not 100% sure. Is it over, or maybe it's over here. It's in this area. I mean, it's right on the hillside, right around here. All right, I don't remember. I think that might be it. It's very cool looking, and that's not what it looks like. I mean, what to say? Let's keep flying around here. Or was it over here? But at least the chapel is going to look fine. You see Yosemite Village, which is really kind of the main. It's not a city, but it's a tourist for the tourists. I don't remember if we've seen the Valley Chapel. Up close, but since we're here, where is it? Okay, there's the parking lot. That looks great. I mean, that's what I would expect the Iwani quality to look like, so I'm not really sure what's going on. And if you're going to only do two buildings, you want to do the Iwani. Yeah, I don't see it around here. Maybe it's further up. I don't think so though. I think it is in this village. Is somebody else flying around over here? In some kind of plane? Over Yosemite Village. Okay, so anyway, the point is, if we were to keep flying, I'm looking for the Awani, but I don't see. I mean, I kind of it's right around there. It's kind of on the hillside. It's got a great view. But there, there was Half Dome right there. You probably have heard of it. Very, very, very famous. It attracts people because it's got that, the unusually erosion where it was originally a dome and then like half it's been eroded away, but that's the half of the dome is still there. And as you head up, it definitely starts. Right, there's nothing. I'm not trying to see if there's any like buildings down here. If I missed some stuff, there's just lodges, I guess, in place to drink. That direction is not the valley. This is where Yosemite Valley goes up this way. And there's another. So there's a Half Dome, but then there's also El Capitan, which is where. Okay, we did pass El Capitan's on the other side. El Capitan's over there. You can't really see it that well from the lights. Oh, then if we get up a little bit higher, you'll see there is a lake. There is a lake back there, right? But this is basically the end of the valley, but it's still extremely dramatic. You see behind us, also lovely views. We got E-Dog out there shadowing us today. I'm going to have to make a turn. It's a good thing this plane is very, very maneuverable because you wouldn't want to fly in a box canyon in most like light planes. This is a turbo, so you get great performance even at altitude. Most planes probably don't have the oomph and gumption to make a very tight turn at this altitude, which you need to do because there's really no exit from this box canyon here. It's extremely steep that direction. I've done it before, but it's challenging. So we're going to come up right here to the right edge. I'm going to a sharp left turn here. And again, the issue with turning is that once you start turning, you're committed, and you're going to lose altitude, and you don't want to hit the outside of the plane. But yeah, you can see it's pretty easy to make a 180. Not all planes can do it quite this easily. Again, having that turbo engine ensures that you got plenty of power for that kind of maneuver. And now we're on the downhill run here. Basically, you just go up and down the valley, as far as I can tell. We could go kind of explore that other little side up here, to the left. Okay, so that's El Capitan, or Half Dome is kind of right there. You kind of see it. So El Capitan, it's on this map here. Okay, so it's. You have to have a little altitude to see it because it's high up, but it's just right up there. It's not that little belt thing there. It's a little further up. But that's, I guess, the tallest peak, or tallest peak in the valley itself, next to the valley. But I don't know. Someday they'll have they'll have a real model of the Awani Lodge, which is a pretty hoity-toity place. They have a dress code. So I think El Capitan it's not that, right? It's back, it's higher up, but it's further back that way. Well, let's find out, right? It's actually marked on the map for us. So it's dead ahead. Right, so it's kind of that. It's pretty massive. But it is a gorgeous valley. I always like to come here and go, wow, pretty valley. And so we are seeing points of interest, but there aren't that many. There is add-on content for Yosemite Valley, which I suspect is way better. Even though they just updated it again, you know what I mean? There's only so much Asobo is willing to do. All right, so El Capitan is that. It's kind of hard to see from here, from this, but it's right ahead of us. I guess I can try to gain some altitude. You can see it a lot better. I don't want to get too much altitude. But yeah, these rock faces are very detailed and beautiful. I'm sure there's a lot of, I think there's some waterfalls through there. But yeah, they're not really in the game that much. I just want to see, oh, it says El Capitan, is it that? We'll be able to see it because we're going to pass it, and it literally has a navigation point. It says El Cap. That's the valley way below us. That's the great thing about flying. You get that freedom to change altitude whenever you feel like it. Yeah, so you can't really tell, but this up here is El Capitan, yes. One of these. Or this here. We're at 7,200 feet. All right, about to stall, but you know, trying to keep the nose up here. This is, I think, one of the highest points in the area. Make sure your wings are level so you can get some lift out of them. We're gonna fly right over this, whatever this is here. I guess that really is the highest point there. But the mountains in the area behind us are much bigger. This is not really a high, you know, it's just an area. I wonder if they have, it looks like they have, like, some access by a road maybe back here. I'm not sure about that. But then, oh yeah, so this is the drop off here on this side. That's what it makes look why it looks so dramatic from the valley here. Because of this kind of thing that protrudes, but it's not really, you can see from here, it's not really the tallest part of it. Well, uh-oh. We're going to tear the wings off. We hit some serious turbulence. I'm pulling the stick all the way back. Ah, we survived it. I'm impressed. I don't know what was going on there. That must have been some extreme downdraft activity right there. Ain't gonna happen. You got to be careful around terrain, because that put us in a nose down configuration. All right, so we're gonna head back out. We went in, we're gonna go out. There's nowhere to land in there. You can even be an ultralight, and you can find a flat place to land. Hard pressed. Well, I think we're just going to land where we took off. There are no other airstrips that can handle us, but I like landing. So, you know what I mean? I don't like stopping in the middle of the air. All right, so we've been to Yosemite. We've been since for the refresh. We don't have to come back here again for a while. I've been here like maybe 8 times in the end while streaming. It is what it is. Okay, if anybody's watching, I'm gonna probably go land at KMPI. Not probably. I mean, you know. How much fuel do you have? We have a ton of fuel. The plane is a turboprop, very efficient, especially even at altitude. Effectively, has its own built-in turbocharger. Effectively, we're not really that high up. But again, you can operate at very high altitudes, but you're gonna have to use a supplementary oxygen system because it's on pressurized cockpit. It's not a lot of oxygen at 8,000 feet. We passed over this before, whatever this is. I think this, or you know, we were down in the bottom of the valley, and this is some kind of overlook or some kind of. I will find out in a second. But it's nice to fly. I just like the sensation. I don't need this here. It's just relaxing. That's why I don't fly helicopters. Helicopters stress me out. These you can kind of like, I don't know, something about these are just kind of relaxing. Checking the window. So it's, what does this say here? Is it like a ranch or something like that? This is an interesting area. Like you might be able to land a small plane on like a field out here. There's a little barn or something. What does it say? Really hard to see. Something creek. So it's just a creek of some kind. Crane Creek, according to that. It doesn't look like much from here. Alright. And then as I say, El Portal, and there's a bunch of there's like a visitor center here. That's technically the entrance to the Yosemite Valley, National Park. And they do limit people. They can, I think you have to have a reservation or whatever. They don't just let anyone in, because otherwise you get too jammed. During certain holidays when there's good weather, kind of thing. All right, let's head back to where we started from. Which, if there was another airport in the area, I would land there, but there really isn't. But you can see there's a fairly large visitor center down there. And I think there effectively are gates where you have to stop to check to see if we're allowed in or whatever. But I thought it was nice. I definitely don't want to do over and over again national parks every single day, because I really like cities. I like, especially like the European cities. They look great, and it's always so interesting, I think, to fly over a major European city. There's so many, and over and over again, and especially a lot of them in the game have been reworked to the point where there's always something really interesting to see, pretty much everywhere. And there's so many. I mean, there's so many world capitals, and so many combinations of different planes you could fly in. So I think, yeah, like a European world capitals, why not, for tomorrow? But we'll definitely want to be doing the parks. This park is a little boring for me because now that I've done this a few times, it's beautiful. But by the way, that visitor center is quite large. There, that one there. That's where the visitor center is. That's where I think they let you in. But then there's nothing down here. Many of the other parks I've never been to. National parks I've never flown over. Most of them I have, but many of them I have not. I've certainly, that's another, I'm not sure what that is down there. For example, Mount Rushmore, always fun. Mount Rushmore it's huge, but compared to the landscape, it's really tiny. It's like, you gotta know, you're not, or, you know what I mean? In order to make it look really big in photographs, you have to use a telephoto lens. You know what I'm talking about. Which, it is what it is. It's a pretty amazing structure, and it is gigantic, but it's also far away from where you're looking at it. All right, where is this aeropuerto? I mean, it's not that close. I'm just gonna keep heading that direction here. Just a little concerned about getting out of this valley. But let's see. Yeah, we're still plenty of fuel, and we're lightening up on fuel as we go, so it becomes easier and easier to fly. But this should be pretty easy to land, if I remember correctly. The only thing about landing in general, about this kind of plane, is that tail draggers are meaning two in the front and one in the back, that wheel configuration, as opposed to a tricycle, which is two in the back and one in the front. Tail draggers in the game tend to be a little hard to keep on the. Once you've landed, they tend to want a fishtail and reverse themselves. And I think it's a bug, really. I don't think in the real world tail draggers are that apt to do it. And the other thing you do is you get on the ground and you brake heavily, which is your only choice because brakes are either on or off in this game. And it tends to tip over on the front. A lot of tail draggers do that. I believe this one will too. So that in order to brake, you have to pulse the brakes. I wish the Sobo would fix that, give us analog brakes, or give us brakes that have graduated feel. Maybe you push the button and it takes a while for them to get to full power rather than immediate full power. It wouldn't be that hard. Hello, Sobo. Just make the braking on the ground, especially for tail draggers, a little easier to do. You eventually develop a skill after tilting your landing and then tilting it into the tilting the nose into the ground. Maybe 50 times, you're like, okay, this time we're going to figure out a way to not hold the brake pedal down just the right amount of time until it actually activates. But we're almost there. Yeah, it's a nice flight today. We still got the big brain games to do. Hey, if there's anybody, some of those brain games, if there's anybody in the community who wants to help out, you're more than welcome to. We'll point those out at the time. And then, me playing the piano for 45 minutes. Got like at least another hour and a half of streaming a day. Getting back into the streaming things. Took a couple days off. But I've been doing it 5 days a week for 3 years, almost. Coming up on 3 years in September. I'll put it that way. So it's just something I think I would be doing. How much is it? It's only about 8 miles from here. You can almost see it. Let's get a little speed going. We can go faster than that. All right. So anyway, while I'm looking, that's the kind of the exit here. You're still seeing that big road. which is, gets pretty jammed up. And I think the road goes that way. Yeah, not this way. In fact, let's kind of head that way. This is where the direction we came from, too. Hello, turbulence. Turbulence. Fly the plane. It's actually easier when you hit these weird turbulence, these weird updrafts and downdrafts to fly from here. But the airport is that way. Oh. Fly from here, because you see how wild the stick needs to move to kind of get counter some of these wild turbulence. And again, coming up to these, it's hot. You get these updrafts when the wind hits these mountains. It has to go somewhere, so it goes straight up or down. It just makes these rolling vortexes that you're rolling through. So you don't know if it's going to push you up or push you down, but you got to keep a lot of stick action. All right, how are we going to get over this hill here? Which way do you want to go? I guess straight over. Up here. The airport's that way. Anyway, it looks like, another area where people, it's not completely devoid of people, but there's trails in. People can make their little cabins here, probably here. Although, if I were going to put a cabin somewhere, I would go east of, I'd go kind of north of here. Further, there's areas where there's actually, you can't tell, but there's thousands of houses, and there's a grocery store not too far away, and that kind of stuff. Whereas here, you're really out in the middle of nowhere. You have to pack in all the food you're going to bring for 5 or 6 days stay. And there, where is it? It's that direction. It's that way. That's the airport. You'll see in a second. This is the town of Mariposa. We'll fly over it right now. Which I think is kind of, we are after, it's like a 3,000-foot elevation. It's definitely a mountain town. But you can see behind Mariposa is a lot of vacation home type activity. California is loaded with forest cabin type, in the cabins in the wood type dealios. Many of which are actually very, very luxurious homes. From a normal point of view. So that's Mariposa down there. And again, that's the nearest, town, city to Yosemite. And the airport is there, but we're going to fly in. Let's do the flying in. Got plenty of time. This is a perfectly good time to kind of see a few more pieces of ground here. Reduce power a bit because we are on the downhill side, 3,600 feet. I think the airport is at like 3,000 feet or so, maybe a little lower. It's pretty high up. But Mariposa is in just this little valley here. I don't think I've ever been there. Of course, I don't know. Okay, so there's Mariposa. It's a few, maybe a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 houses. I don't know. Pretty small town. I wonder if some of the people live here, work in the visitor centers at the Yosemite kind of thing, I want to see, what is this up here? This looks just like a very planned development. A lot of planned housing here. You see the runway up ahead. I'm actually going to start putting some flaps down because we will be transitioning to landing. You see what I meant here? So I wonder if these are, or these homes, or these could be like, mobile homes or prefabbed homes. Although I don't think so. I think they just a kind of a dealio. All right, reduce power even further. We acquired the runway visually. They're calling up on the radios, hey, we're landing. I don't know how that works, but as far as I'm concerned, we're good. We do want to slow down quite a bit before we get there, but not till we get there. So we're going to leave the flaps at 1, and eventually we'll go to 2 and 3. But not until we get a little closer to this runway. It is a nice long runway. There's no reason to, is that photogrammetry right there? It's not even 3D. I still think some of these areas could do use a little hand. They've done a lot of work on Central California, though. Like by Zalia, a lot of parts there, not too long ago. Okay, reduce power even further. Okay, now we're gonna have flaps 2. Flaps at 2. And we'll lose some altitude. Good lineup, but we're kind of out of. We don't need this anymore. All right, so we're just gonna be watching. We got a good lineup. We want to watch our speed here. We're almost gonna go to flaps 3 in a second. Flaps 3. Hi, science. How are you doing? Happy Friday. Can you believe the weekend's almost here? I am looking forward to it. Okay, how are we doing here? What's our speed? Oh, we're going kind of slow. More power. We lost more power. We lost more speed. I was talking to chat. It's pretty quiet today. But I'm about to end. Assuming we can land here, it's gonna be a little tricky. We're about to go into the big brain game segment of the stream, the live Twitch and YouTube stream. All right, you definitely get a lot of turbulence pushing you around at various times. It can be kind of scary in this plane. Okay, oops. Okay, also, again, you don't want to idle the engines because we're right above stall speed here. But you can hear the engines very sensitive to the throttle. Okay, that's a good approach. Bit of a bump there. See what I said? I mentioned this before. These tail draggers tend to want to do that. Yeah, well, today we went to Yosemite, and it's just because they've recently updated it. As mentioned, these tail draggers, they tend to hit the ground, and then they want to flip around the other 180 degrees. Very common. I don't know if that happens in the real world, but it sure happens in Flight Simulator, so I'm kind of ready for it. There's nothing you can do about it. But, you know, anyway, this is the little airport near Mariposa, so we took off from here. Here, it was going to let you here. But I had a good time flying. I'm going to do lots more. Here's the little dinky airport here. All right. You got to be careful when you're braking because you can easily, even at low speeds. All right, parking brake on. So engine condition there. It will slowly come to a shut off, I believe. All right. Takes a while. It's a turbo. I like this. I like the shutdown sounds. It's a nice simulation. I mean, as I say, it's not necessarily the most fun plane to fly. By the way, those things on the front, I don't know what they are. Kind of the front, the leading edge, because my flaps are up. Is there some kind of control for that? That might just be the way they are. What is this? Oh, you can just undo the right door. Yeah, for some reason I'm still spinning. Okay, well, let's just turn off the fuel pumps. At ignition. Oh, and the starter, which should need to be on. Generator. Turn off avionics. Oh, that's all this stuff here. Now it should come to a halt. There we go. So I always like to get. All right, there we go. It's a cool plane, but again, I like that, like kind of the rear view there. There's that rear view window. You can look out at the back, and you can see. Yep, there's a window back there. Of course, you can't have a rear view mirror in a plane. It's not gonna. It's gonna be too much. All right, let's move on. So that was fun. So we're gonna do end flight. There'll be, in fact, if you enjoyed the flight simulation, there'll be more tomorrow. More simulatings. Let me move into the just chatting category for the next part of the day. Who knows how we'll do in the big brain games? Nobody. That's the whole idea. That's why it's so darn exciting. All right, so let's get out of here. Quit to desktop. Sure, why not? Alrighty. Okay, so let me queue up big brain game numero uno. See, I speak Spanish. I'm multilingual. Which is a warm-up game I like to call the Quirtle. I like to do kind of one of the harder ones, which is the extreme. It's a lot like the Wordle, which I do every day, first thing in the morning. You're probably familiar with that. The Quirtle is 4, and then the Octoral is 8 words that you have to solve at the same time. And it kind of changes the strategy. But in any case, this is my strategy, which is use the same 3 starting words every time. Now let's see. What's you? This one is interesting. Could be SPIE something. Because the E can't be at the end. Could it be SPIED, like spied? I think it could be. That was right. All right, the D, and that D was handy. All right, so now we have a word. I know this upper right word. I kind of know this. Again, you have to, there's no other vowels, so it has to, you have another Y in it. And again, kind of knowing the dictionary helps a lot. I've do these, you do these for years. Let's see. This word on the lower right, it could be whiff, WHIFF. That's in the dictionary. And the one on the lower left is interesting because it's going to be end in ID, I think. It's not tepid. Unfortunately. But it could be fetid, FETID, right? That's a word. Oh, nice. And remember how I said it could be whiff on the lower right? And now I know it has at least one F in it. All right, that's what you call a win on the opening game. But again, that's not a hard one. I mean, that's why I call it a warm-up. But it definitely calls for a Diet Coke cheers. Excuse me. All right. What's the next game? I don't know. Let's do the revealed. It's from our fine folks at Botanica.com. All right. There's a short one today. The category is animals in nature, and the correct answer is going to have exactly 6 letters, not 7, not 5. Okay. I'm going to read this heavily redacted document. Okay. The thing we're looking for, blank, huge blank blank, found in blank blank. The grayish blank of the blank is blank centimeter blank blank, with deep blank around the blank. The blank is covered with short blank hair, giving the blank an overall blank color. British spelling. The blank has a rounded blank, small blank, and no external blank. No external blank. Is it a walrus? What gave it away was the no external ears. It didn't say ears, but I knew it was no external. No external ears is marine mammals have no external ears. The reason being that they don't really need them to hear in the water, and if they had actual ears that stuck out, that would be a drag. That would cause them to swim slower because they would evolve away from external ears quite quickly. Walruses, sea lions, I think sea otters, right, don't have external ears and are mammals, or seals, right? But a seal doesn't have 6 letters. Sea lion doesn't have 6 letters. Walrus has 6 letters, thus the big win today. We did pretty well. I mean, I did pretty well. Other players required, there's your walrus. Other players required 3.3 reveals. It's not too hard, but we did not require any reveals or hints to figure it out because, smart. All right, moving on. There's more games to play. The next one I'm going to do is the trivia quiz. We'll do the tightrope trivia. This is one of the harder ones. This is a timed 9-question multiple choice trivia quiz. I got to do it. You can't really help me out because I got to get these fast if I want to get my high score. Need to get 2,000 points. And all right, it's trivia. Sometimes you do them. I consider myself a certified trivia master. All right, we're starting. Germany when Pete Best said it so. McCartney, because Pete Best was in the Beatles. So that was the only one who was in the Beatles. Other than that, there's no way of knowing that. Else, they were in Germany. 2 horses shot out from him. Oh my God. Washington? Oh gosh, that was a guess. I don't really know that many details of Washington's military career. He built it where? Where is Disneyland? I think it's an Anaheim. Joking about the Trojan War. Not to be so she can be called what? I'd be a millie because 1,000 ships. She launched one anyway. Blah blah. Launched 1,000 ships, so it wouldn't be gigawatt. I'm sure that's Lacoste, the crocodile. Premises cut from Breakfast at Tiffany's. It doesn't really fit in the movie, but it's still a great song. I love it. Demonstrate what? The Earth's rotation? Power of positive thinking? Could have been that too. But typically that's what it is. His intention was. To prehensile tongue when reaching for leaves. Well, interesting. Did not know that, but it had to be a giraffe of those. An epistolary story is told through what form? I'm gonna go letters. Oh, geez. All right, that's a successful tightrope trivia today, and I believe we are gonna beat the 2,000 point. I personally set for myself to consider a tightrope trivia. We do this every day. Ooh, I haven't gone an all 9 in a while though. That's not so easy. I got lucky there. We're gonna go do well over the 2,000 mark. Into the clever funambulist, which is the highest ranking that you can get on a single quiz. Stare at the sun, the glowing funambulism. I don't even know what a funambulist is, and nope, it's not even in the dictionary. All right, we're moving along though. There's many more games to play, and some of these you can help out with, like the reunion. We got the reunion, we got the loop, we got the oh my god, let's play this one. All right, the reunion is kind of a fun game. It's like a crossword puzzle, except you don't get clues. You just got to suss out what the words are based on these color clues. Oh, we got a whole bunch of weird ass letters here. This is going to be a rough one. Okay, we don't know where the N and the S is, but I kind of want to at least interchange them. Well, because the N can't go there. The S could go there. And then this top word could be 7. I think it is going to be 7. I'm just kind of sussing out because we have a V. Okay, it's hard to describe, but you kind of get, after playing this game for a year or two, boy, I played it a lot. I had no idea what was going down. So this could be S-P-I-N. Not necessarily, but we know the I is somewhere on this column. I'm just going to guess it. Yeah, okay, good. We're doing. I don't know if this word's going to be spin. You never know. But we definitely have a word that has a V-A. Starts with V-A. But we also have a word that starts with ID. What could that word be? It could be idiot, except we don't have a T. It can't be, could be idea. No, yeah, it could be idea because we have an E, but then be V-A-E. What could that word be? Can't really be an H. Can't be an H-R-A or they'd be yellow. I don't think it could be a W. Could it be 2 Ds? IDD something. Don't think so. Could it be a P? IDP? No. Could it? It can't be a U or C or they'd be yellow. Could be an L because it could be idler or something like that. It could be idler. All right, I'm all day. I'm going to guess that it's an L. That was a good ass guess, by the way. And now I do think it could be idler. It could be N-A-R or something like. It's not narrate though, or narrow. It could be narrows with the S at the end. I kind of like it. That on the word on the right is going to be narrows. I'm just going to guess it. Yeah, I like it now because we have all those letters. Oops, it wasn't. Couldn't have been narrows. Oh no, I just moved the wrong word. Dang it. Oh well, I guess I'm a little distracted. All right, but now I'm 100% sure this is going to be idler, and this is going to be narrows. We won't get a perfect game today, but we're doing all right. All right, so this A, it could be audio, AUDIO. It's got to be. And then this P, well, the P has to go on this column. So I'm not really sure how that's going quite yet, what's going on there. See, we have still an H. The P is on this column, so it's either VAP, VALP, Val something. It can't be there. Val, it's got to be at the end, right? Where's this I? Oh, I think this is just going to be valid. Okay. And yeah, and you're going to see how this is going to work. It's going to be valid. And then this word is going to be spinach. And then this word is just going to be ugh, pus. Lovely. But we got a 16. That's a win. 17's a win, but 16's even better than a win. I could have had it 15, except I made a mistake. I dragged the wrong letter. You know what I mean? I just had a technical dragging issue. By the way, the other players at 9.9 indicates this was a fairly easy one. Let's just take a look at it and admire our game here. Cuts of, I don't know. I don't think it was that easy, but, you know, it was okay. Valid, and you see where it's called reunion because the fox and the hedgehog always get together at the end to make babies because this is a dirty, dirty, dirty game. I mean, we have a terrible dirty one. All right, let's move on. The next one is going to be the loop. All right, what do we got? We got bagpipes. Bagpipes is our starting symbol. Bagpipes. So, okay, what do we got here? We got a kilt. I mean, come on. Let's put the kilt there. Okay, we got a cannon. We got a sushi roll. That's actually kind of the sushi roller. That's a tiki bar. Tiki bar. And then we have pool balls. Then we have a gingerbread house. So far I'm making... Okay, that's ginger. All right, we'll put the ginger and the gingerbread house next to each other. This woman is doing downward dog in yoga position. This is a woman wearing a sari. I guess that's kind of like a kilt, though. It's a skirt, right? Then we have a thatched hut. That's got to go with the gingerbread house, right? We got a car exhaust, but see, it's like the pipe, the tailpipe and the bagpipe. See what I'm getting there? Maybe the cannon goes next to the car. We got a sushi roll. Oh, these are both triangle shapes. The downward dog and the pool balls. I'm gonna do it like that for now. The car exhaust. So I'm thinking maybe it would go next to this. I'm just gonna... Sushi roll might have ginger in it. All right, let's just see how badly we did. All right, half. Half, okay, all right. So we got the top 5, which is not bad for the first ones. That's not too bad, actually. I had good confidence. I thought I had good confidence in those. All right, so we were correct about the downward dog and the pool balls, the triangles. We were correct about these, all 4 of these. So these are correct. These are correct. They're just not in the right place. So what is this again? This is a thatched hut. What would that go next to? And this is, I thought this was like a beach wrap or something like that. I guess she's a wrap. That's a wrap. And so is this roll a wrap. So I kind of think we're going to do the sushi and then the ginger and then the gingerbread house and then the house. And then I guess this is that. but I don't know how these go. I think that's okay. It wasn't quite as good as I want, but now I know. Now we have it for sure for the next one. All right. I was hoping to be better. What basically is telling you is that these have to go here and here. The sushi roll is next to the yoga pose for some reason. I'm not, and then this, I guess she is like that. Yeah, right? Is that what it has to be? And because this has to stay here. Okay, so goes here and this goes here. And then that is like that. Okay, so that's all. We know that's correct, but just due to logic. And I think we figured out how with like bagpipes, tailpipe. Tailpipe puts out smoke, and so does the cannon. The cannon, the balls are organized. Cannonballs are in a triangle, so are the pool balls. Triangle is the downward dog. Sushi roll. How do they land? Okay, how does downward dog? Okay, downward dog. Sushi rolling mat. So it's a mat. So there is the mat is in connection. You need gingerbread house, thatched cottage, tiki bar. They both have thatched roofs. Got it. Sarong and tiki bars. Okay, killed. Okay, I think we kind of got it. That's fun. I do like it. All right, the next one in the order I like to play them. Let's see. We've done the loop. We've done the Quirtle. We did the reunion. We did the reveal. We've done the tightrope trivia. So we're gonna switch over to the New York Times connections. Going to add to our 9-day streak. All right. So connections, we have to arrange these 16 words and or short phrases into four affinity groups by affinity, but we don't know what the affinity is, and there's often a fake affinity group, and there's wordplay, etc. There's obviously a bunch of musical stuff here. Oops. Like Outcast and Depeche Mode. Fresh Baked, but I think those might be the fake one. Fresh Baked, Ball Gown, Do Not Disturb, A La Mode, Strike a Pose, Airplane Mode. Okay, there's a whole bunch of modes. Erasure, Safe Mode, Decadent, New Order, Hotspot, Pet Shop Boys, Molten, and Location Services. Well, I mean, you know, Pet Shop Boys, New Order, Depeche Mode, and Outcast. I mean, those are bands, and I don't really think all these others are, but there's so many modes, so I'm kind of wondering. I mean, it could be Depeche Mode, All Mode, Safe Mode, and Airplane Mode, but that seems too obvious. But Outcast isn't from the same genre as Depeche Mode, Pet Shop Boys, and New Order, which are older bands. I don't have all day. Let's try it. I'm not that optimistic. Yeah, one away. It was an Outcast. But isn't Erasure an old band? Is there a band called Erasure? I believe there's a band. That would be from that era. Right? It's acclaimed, but yeah, it's Erasure. All right, so this one I have a little more confidence in. I forgot about, 80s synth pop bands. All right, come on. These are hard. All right, now we still have, but at least we know it has nothing to do with mode. All right, a la mode is a way of, is a way of making a pie, right? It could also, fresh baked could apply to pies. Right. But then we also have hotspot location services, airplane mode, and I think do not disturb would be another, would be in an app mode or something like that. Things that are on your on your app, your phone's smartphone settings. Okay, I happen to have a smartphone, thank God, or I would not have got that. Okay, so we have ball gown, but not safe mode. Let's see. Strike a pose. I think some of these are going to be like strike or something, or pose. Some wordplay. We still have fresh baked, a la mode, and maybe decadent and molten. like pie, way you can serve a pies, dessert menu descriptions. Okay, whatever. All right. That was the easy one too, huh? Guess what? We did not get it perfect today. We got one mistake, but that's not so bad. Outcast, what's the connection? Outcast, ball gown, safe mode, and strike oppose. So what it is, these are all baseball terms. The first thing is a baseball term. So baseball, you can be out, you're out, or you can have be ball one, ball two, or he could be safe on the base, or it's a strike. He struck out. So these are, the first word is a baseball term. It's not really that hard. Starting with baseball call, it's a baseball call, right? Those are the possible calls actually. Right, it could be ball, out, safe, or strike. Those are really the four things. It could be, I guess, could be hit by pitch, whatever. It's not a ball, whatever. But that's basically it. Okay, I enjoyed that game today. I enjoyed the connections. I think we did okay there. They tried to mess us up with those modes, but it was good. All right, there's one more game I want to play. It's just a cleanup game, and it's called the Turtle. Cleanup because it's a challenge, but it's just one I do every day. Yeah, like the last we went. All right, what we got here? We got the slower here. It's interesting because it's POE something Y. POE something Y. I'm pretty sure it has to be posy. It's a flower. Right? There's anything there? Yeah, it's not peony. Because that's POE and Y. And it's not proxy. I'm pretty sure. It's just a word you gotta learn. Okay, good, because we limited the S. Now we have another word that's got, all we know about that is it's got a D in it. Because that could be a lot of things. 0 hits. This is a tough one today. I don't mind. I like it when it's hard. This one here is interesting because it can't be idiom. Monovision contacts. Oh, you don't like? I believe you mentioned it, but I'm still finding it interesting that you're liking them. But yeah, if people are coming in and don't know what monovision is, it means you optimize the lenses so that one eye is for close focusing and another eye is for distance focusing. And then it kind of messes with your 3D vision, but it's not a big deal. So, and you don't have to, you can always go back to the correct things, just, but yeah, it sounds like a really ideal. Yeah. My eyes are getting, definitely as you age, I have to go like this to focus, a lot. It's because the bifocals are letting me see a little better, but it is what it is. This word on the lower right, I think could end in IOM, but again, the only other word I think of, it's not idiom, which it can't be because it has axiom, AXIOM. And coincidentally, we have not used the A and the X. It would be badly needed that A, but it really had to be axiom. All right, we got what here? We have 2 E's, and all we know is there's a D. That could be hedge, ledge, a million things. I'm not going to go there. Hopefully we'll find something. Oof, this is really a rough one. Oof, okay. This word, now I think it's EADY. EA, because we know there's an A and a D, and it can't be here. So it's either DAY, and I don't think it is. So it's EADY. So it could be heady, HEADY. It can't be ready, or because there's no R in it. It could be beady, BEADY. All right, let's try beady. I don't have all day. I think it might be beady. It wasn't beady. Dang it. Well, this is just a really hard one. I'm just telling you, we got very few clues. It's because it uses random starting letters. Okay, there's a D and an R. It could be ARD. So, but could be guard, GUARD. Come on, guys. Come on, give me guard. See, once you come up with an idea. All right, that's good. The G and the U definitely helped. Let's see if we're getting some clues here. But this way, it still could be heady, right? Can't be needy. That'd be N-E-E. C... Daddy, no. It's got to be heady, and I think it does. Hopefully, it'll give us that H. Okay, good. And we needed that H here. So now we know this word on the lower right starts with an H and has a Y and an A. So now there's no way I could have got it before, but now it's obviously hyena. Yeah, I mean, that's not even a question. And that N was not used before. Oosh. Okay, and again, all I know here is that it's E-D-G-E, but it still could be ledge. Okay, well, that's actually, we're narrowing it down here because it can't be hedge, no H. Yeah, it's got to be ledge, L-E-D-G-E on the left here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was really helpful because of the L. So this word here is going to, oh, we got two here lower. I'm pretty sure it's going to be flank or clank. Unfortunately, there's no way to know. 50-50. Oosh. Oh, jeez. And then this word here, all we have is a T, L, U, and an A. And the A could be there. So it could be T, A, L, U something. But what could it be? L can't be there. Can't be U-L-T alt, and then the A would have to be there. But it could be a T-A-L, T-A-L, in which case it could be, I don't think it starts with U. It begins with T. And I'm running out of time. I mean, you know, I don't have any particular time constraints. I'm just ready to try before I get bored. So let's just guess. For this one, we're going to guess flank. Oh well, we didn't win today, but that's fine. We can win tomorrow. And again, this was I told you from the front off, this is a really hard one because the starting words were awful. So that word is going to be clank, right? Because there's no B. But I want to think, can I even figure out what this word is, even knowing what I know now? So the A can't start with an A. If it doesn't start with a T, then it's something. I mean, U, A, no. U, T. And then have the A has to go there. I wonder if I don't know this word, which is unusual. If it could be, it's either T-A-L or L-A-T. It's a weird ass word. It's either LAT or TAL if it starts with a U. I don't know if it starts with a U, though. It doesn't start with a... Again, we've eliminated it starting with a T. Then A has to be there. You could go there. But then where does an L go? T-A. U. I don't know this word. I don't know this word. That really happens. But no, I have no clue what this word is. Can't start with an A. Kind of has to start with a T. Can't start with an L or the U. And then you really can't use any of these other letters, right? Huh. That means an L. Yeah, I got to give up. I rarely have to give up. Let's just guess. Well, we know what this word is over here, clank. So let's just get it, and it will tell us. Boy, that's super boring to stare at that thing forever. I got to say, what was the word? Vault. Is that what the word we missed? Yeah. Okay. A-U. I just didn't see vault. Wow, and that's an easy one. Oh my God, I don't think my brain is working at 100%. But you know what? It is what it is. Some of the games I did okay in, like the trivia. That one I didn't do too well. I should have got vault. It's a very common one. Very common words. Just missing the whatever to see that. Okay, well that's fine. I got a lot of streaming to do. I'm looking forward to playing the piano for like an hour. I'll be here for another hour or so. So I'm gonna switch over to the music category. It's gonna take me a while to drag my piano in. I might even have to. It might even have to take a little extra time. Live, we'll be playing live music. It's the piano day. Okay, we're in the musical category here. I'm gonna put my mid roll on. Give me a second here. And we'll see you on the other side. situated here. You can hear me. Get my little camera. Let's actually put this a little further. Oh. Let's see, put this. Ooh. Breaking shit. That's fine. Alright. That's not where I like it. All right. That right there. Fussing with it today. I don't care. I'll get it eventually. I have to get that jaunty angle of the keyboard. All right. Let's see if things are working here. Oh, where's my pedal? I'll be here. I got to grab my pedal unit. It's not in the right position where I can attack it with my foot. There we go. Oh, we got sound. We got pedal. Warm up here a little bit. Should be a little to the right here. Let's get my exact right position I like to be in. There we go. A little lower. All right, so going to, all right, what is Ken's Panel Lounge, you might ask? Nobody ever does. So basically, it's this list of songs that I've memorized. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. Alrighty. I always like to keep repeating. Oh, what was that? Oh, yeah, that was Say a Little Prayer. Let's go right into Breaking Us in Two by Joe Jackson, who's touring currently. I'm sure he does this song too. like this too. What's the next one? Flashdance. Oh, I like this one. All right, that was kind of Flashdance in a sense. Let's try playing "Girl from Ipanema." This is kind of the you got if you're playing lounge piano, you got to start here.
Todd Rundgren songs there. What should we do next? Just jump up to Billy Joel here. There's a bunch of songs I don't do very often. This one's not one of them. Do ba 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 do 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 do. Just the two of us. We've got a few more songs in the set to do. I'm gonna skip over a few songs. I always like to do this one. Superman the movie, 1978. songs I want to do. We'll certainly do Up and Away from the Fifth Dimension. It's a great lounge song. I'd like to do a few more, but I just want to one more song. Yeah, run into that 2-hour limit where I start to be like, yeah, we can just kill it for today and do lots more tomorrow. It'll probably not be a good piano day, but that's fine. Right, Up Where We Belong. Thanks for coming to Ken's Piano Lounge. It's always fun. Always fun to do the Ken's Piano Lounge. Well, I had a good time streaming today. But, you know, come to hitting the 2-hour mark, I'm like, might as well keep some in the tank for tomorrow. Starting around the regular time, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. I don't know what time zone you're in, so you have to do some calculations. But same time as I started today, like 2 hours ago. Kind of like to keep a consistent starting time. Because this, whatever. Anyway, but I do like to say at the end of the show, before I say goodbye, I like to make a little toast to the world, and especially you people. And the people, the fine people at streamboo.com. I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. See you next time. Have a good time.